here.
So we just spent the last 10 minutes talking because I forgot to press go live. So we'll recap what we just went over. So this week we're doing another D&D character for someone who's in our party this time, Brendan. Brendan's basing his dwarf character off of a dwarf called Senshi, I believe, or Menchi from sorry, from an anime or something. But we're taking the concept of the dwarf chef who sort of recycles food from all the monsters he kills, and adapting that more into our dwarf range. To go with our figure. So he's still going to have the big shield that he cooks out of, the big wok sort of shield, but the design and all that kind of stuff is going to change. So we're just working out at the moment, sort of what pose he's going to be standing in, because we know he's a fighter, but he's got a big variety of different weapons and things. So so we've been thinking about, is he going to be reaching for the shield, grabbing it off his back, or
you know what? You know the classic Captain America kick the shield off the floor?
Ooh.
Like where it's got the upside down turned block.
Yeah.
And he sort of like goes to flip it up with his foot like a skateboard.
Yeah.
We could have him like sort of stepping on the end of his shield, so end of his shield coming up.
Yeah.
But he shields the walk.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would go with. It's just going to be a 3D print now.
Yeah, 3D print. Yeah. The animation of that will be a bit funky. But
just more so like this. So if I just draw something like that.
Well, anyway, I'm going to get going on the beard. The original character has the big square, bushy beard, but all of ours have lots of plaiting in theirs. So I'm going to probably keep the same sort of square shape, but swap it to be more plaited and braided with some jewelry in there. Actually, that's something. The original one doesn't have any sort of jewelry motif. He's just got quite a real
basic wall.
Well, yeah, but his armor is just like some sleeves and some bands. So and a real basic shield. So our one's going to be a lot more blinged up. And I think the original one as well doesn't have a moustache, or he's got the armor over the moustache.
Yeah, he's got like a helmet that his moustache sits in front of.
Oh, he does. Yeah, but no, I don't think we're going to keep that weird sort of chin thing around the helmet. The most we could probably get away with doing is some plates on the side of his helmet, maybe. But the what Brendan said he wanted us to keep from the helmet was the moustache jumping out in front of the helmet. So we could still keep that by doing like cheek guards, and it just won't cross in front of the moustache. I think that's a little on the nose. So I'll just real quickly sketch some of those in. I think I was going to say if we're doing another human, because we know where we're going this time, to do a higher res version of the face, so I have something to sculpt off of. But with the dwarves, there's no you don't worry about sculpting the face. They're 90% facial hair. He also wanted the big bulging eyes. So I'm going to redo the eyes on this facing head. To do that. So I was thinking for the feet, we can keep the boots. I think the original character has sort of fur on their boots, like he's got sandals, but the sort of whatever he's wearing around his shins have fur coming out of like the metal. So those ones we can we yeah, just having fur come out of the boots instead is probably a good compromise. Or he could have the splint armor on his legs as well. So he's probably gonna like generally be quite up armored because he's a fighter. So yeah, we could do the sort of the forearm armor and stuff, but instead of having just the metal bands, make it more Viking. What are you thinking with that one?
With this one, yeah, just sort of that classic shield on his back.
Yeah,
or looking over his shoulder.
yeah, I think a stoic one will be the way to go.
Yeah,
because he's going to have all of the stuff hanging off him, like all the weight coming down from all of his tools and stuff. So probably a stoic pose is the way to go.
so I think we'll be able to sneak some sick tricep in or something like that. Big ball of a tricep.
Yeah. Well, I've started to block out the helmet with some shapes, but yeah, it's gonna be. When I did the original dwarf helmets, I find them real tricky to do because you've got to make them real fat around the neck. Like, well, you can't take them too low around the neck because they've got all the big bushy beard. Is that from behind that image?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sure.
So I can get his get his shield in there.
Yeah, he's gonna have quite the roundish belly. Let me just hunt down a photo. So from his waist, I'm going to go another layer. We're going to sort of have everything sort of hanging. This and then the what back like this. So, I've got to hide the arms. Yeah, so have a look at this one. The silhouette's going to kind of be like he's going to be wide in the middle.
Yeah.
But coming sort of off that sort of slant of the hips, he'll probably have like all of these axes and stuff hanging.
Yeah.
Hanging like that, and then the feet will
like
be
a
sort
skirt of equipment.
Yeah, like a skirt of equipment, and then yeah, the Captain America shield on the back.
Could be reaching how yeah. What about the underarm reach? So like for his shield, not over the top.
Oh yeah.
Sort of like reaching like that.
Yeah, to grab it. Yeah.
Around his belt like that, underarm, like that. All around the front of him.
Let's try him with two hands side by side first, holding two different weapons. Like a butcher's axe in one.
Yeah, big ladle.
Yeah, ladle in one and like butcher's axe in another. Let's start with something like that, which is a little bit more. Yeah. So far in game, he hasn't actually used the big lock shield.
we going big furry, like big furry
Mm-hmm.
padding, like a underneath his armor?
With dwarves, I really find that
Yeah.
you end up only worrying about the arms and leg armor
Yeah.
because so much of it is covered up by their
Well, yeah, in this case, the shield and the.
well,
shield.
yeah, and his big beard. So
So we got that, and I'll just cut that out. So
I think that, yeah,
shield later, then worry about.
I think that yeah, the bigger question is really going to be like what's on his arms and stuff. The helmet looks weird when I can only see the head, but when the rest of it goes back on it, it looks fine. Not too out of place. So need to look at the face real quick.
Do you want me to just do a quick?
Oh no, I want to see the nose because literally
Yeah,
like this, there's no face to sculpt.
Yeah, his big nose.
Yeah, we'll keep it. I might change the nose to make the nose way more round.
Yeah.
Because he's got the bulb, sort of that cartoonish sort of look.
Have a big bulbous nose.
Yeah, well, one of the images I'm looking at is not bulbous. One of them is real pointy. But
Anime is weird like that.
Anime's
Most
weird.
of the time, the style in that show is
yeah,
round and cute.
yeah. I'm gonna go with that because it matches better with the beard, and it means there's less cheeks. Yeah, less detail there, which make the eyes easier. Yeah, I was thinking like what sort of nose protection would he have from the helmet? But do chefs wear any headwear? Oh, what do they wear? Like a beard net or something? That's probably a little bit far fetched.
Yeah. Maybe when he's talking, but not all the time.
Yeah. Okay, well that's one of the pouches will be his little beard net. To like lift it all up, or like cover up the beard for when he's cooking, so he doesn't get hairy in all the food. I'm not sure what to do with the horns because I normally don't even do horns on anything. So yeah, the horns on the original art are all twisted.
Yeah, backwards facing like Loki.
Yeah. Oh well, that's still actually kind of Norse, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe we could do that. There's a Swedish coin that's like an archaeological sort of find from like the whatever the Vendel period or something where they do have a helmet which is depicted with horns. So I'll quickly Google that, and I might try and base it on that because I've kept all of my dwarves really grounded in history. So yeah, except that we're making Norse dwarves with a lock. Do you reckon we can get away with a hexagonal walk?
I think a hexagonal walk would be cool. Like it doesn't need to be perfectly hexagonal, but like that beaded metal.
Yeah, it would have the lines
beaded into
a
hexagonal shape.
Yeah.
That way we might be able to do some cool embroidery on the handles.
Oh yeah, it should definitely have a whole bunch of like dwarven filigree.
At least on the handles with the hexagonal shape, because that'll leave a flat plane for the handles to come off.
Yeah,
cool stuff.
Yeah, we could do like the shields, how they have that embossing. they've obviously got like the rondel bit, but then they've got like the embossed sort of eagle and stuff and hammers that I've got on my dwarf shields. We could do something like that on on the wok. That might be a little bit much because but yeah, it could be in that vein. All right, I'm gonna try and work out the horns now.
So it might need to be octagonal.
The shield.
Yeah.
I've done 6 for all of my. Actually, I used to do 6s, so hexagonal for.
Is yeah.
You can probably do octagonal. I used to do hexagonal for.
I feel like octagonal. That'll give us a nicer shape for a wok. Because we won't. Number one, we won't need to bend it nearly as much.
Yeah.
And number two, it leaves 2 nice flat edges on the sides.
Yeah.
For our.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't. Norse coin with the horn helmet. Yeah, there's the Loki sort of one, but apparently that sort of that Loki horn where it turns sort of faces backwards is not actually even Norse. That's apparently that's older than the Vikings. So Hancock has joined the chat. Either that or just do the classic sort of horn helmet. Is there any utility to having what could there be any utility to actually having horns on his helmet as far as being a cook's concerned, like a drying rack? Only because all of the dwarves that I've done are super pragmatic. They're all like really minimalist, and there's not much sort of I don't know. They don't just have horns for the sake of horns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking, like,
Well,
why has this one got horns?
This guy in particular,
Yeah.
he does like using 100% of the animals, so maybe he's just killed a goat or something like that.
Yeah, but what's he using it for?
I guess to headbutt people. But...
Oh, we'll have to come back and address that question. So is the helmet going to sit on? Sorry, is the shield going to sit on his back? Yeah, and but is his hair going to go under it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one issue that we might run into with making a wok hexagonal.
Yeah.
Is it may look like a turtle shell, but that's not necessarily the worst thing.
I'll try them in. I'm going to copy across some of the other dwarf assets, just so that it looks more complete.
Yep.
But then I'll erase it later. Just so that when we do the silhouette or whatever of this guy with the different shields, it looks more complete. Oh, I can copy the belt. Yeah. Lift that up. Okay, so let's try a hexagonal and a not hexagonal wok. Woks are not flat at the bottom, are they?
Some are, yes.
Oh, sorry. No, woks are flat at the bottom.
Some aren't, some are.
Right. Because how does it? What does the wok sit over?
Sometimes the wok can sit over a stove. Sometimes it'll just sit straight over a fire, being held up by chains. It's very versatile piece of cooking equipment. The wok. If you have a look, yeah, just look up flat bottom wok or round bottom wok. Most of the time, I'd say it is a round bottom wok.
Yeah. Like the round bottom blast. Breaking Bad.
Exactly.
I think I always picture hexagonal is like a more dwarven shape than octagonal, but I don't think that's grounded in anything.
Yeah, it's probably just 'cause it's simpler to carve fucking 6 sides into a rock than it is to carve 8.
Yeah. It's probably. I think it could probably be easier to do 8. But what do they cut? Yeah, I think it had something to do with the way that like gems are cut or something. But I don't know how gems are cut, so I don't even know. Right. So it should. If this was a shield, it shouldn't be. It doesn't need to be flat at the back. What? Okay. What about? Okay, so you know how it's not a shield, right? So it doesn't have the sort of the center boss.
Yeah.
What if instead of having a center boss, it just had like some
Something to sit on.
yeah, something like that. That's sort of functioned as a center boss, but it was it could also sit flat on top of that. Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duels as a serving tray or something like that.
Oh, not meant to be a serving tray. Like it's
But even still, like if he's cooking and you can just sit it down on a rock and eat straight out of his wok or something.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Woks are probably sort of held up by the because you got to put the fire underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's either that or they just build up. They usually just build up coals. Like it's supposed to be very very hot.
Yeah, true.
Coals. Yeah. You don't really cook over an open fire a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That's sort of the idea with a flat bottom, where it's got like the flared out handles.
Yeah, I still don't do that. Yeah.
You get some cool character with because obviously the interior hexagon will be smaller than the exterior hexagon, so the handles will get flared out.
Yeah.
Which will look nice. I feel like.
I'll try the octagonal wok now.
You can still do that center.
Yeah, some sort of shape there. Yeah.
That center thing there.
There's another question: is it a wok that doubles as a shield, or is it a
shield that doubles as a wok? I'd say it's a wok primary.
Yeah. But has the wok been like adapted?
Oh right.
Is what I'm saying, meaning like
yeah, from how Brendan says he just pretty much just wanted it to be a wok, but
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Well, obviously because the 8 has 8 sides, not 3. The 8's a lot rounder. The 8, until we put. I'm really thinking of my electric wok, which has.
Your electric wok is an anomaly.
Yeah, well, I mean that. Okay, I probably need to look up it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I said you put that bit to work as the boss. Right. So yeah, it really is just.
You can either get a dual handled wok.
Yeah.
Where it's got one handle and then a long handle, or you can get a
Yeah.
yeah. They come in all. You can get woks with a straight handle, two round handles on the edge, round handle on the edge, and a straight, or just a straight handle. So
Yeah. I think we'll just go with the two handles.
two handles does make it sort of easier to come up with some sort of attaching mechanism.
Yeah, the strap just because the same
But
strap.
that being said, if we do this right,
Yeah.
just copy this over so that we can make it important.
Yeah.
If we do this, we can have a strap that sort of just goes like almost like a carabiner.
Yeah.
Right, that goes around that, and then strap, and then another one on the other side.
Yeah.
Or we can do sort of a rope that has been looped like this, right? So we go if this was a straight, right, like a straight handled block, like that, something like that. A rope that loops around like that. And gets tied off at something so that this bottom one slips off very easy. Like you can slip it like that. The rope sort of just locks it onto his back, and he can take it off this handle, and it will just flip off, and he can use it as a shield. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, yeah, thinking about it. I don't mind it being asymmetrical actually, but okay. So why is it hexagonal at all rather than round?
Purely for the dwarven motifs.
Yeah.
If it's round, then it's round. It's fine. You could do it mostly round, and the edges of it are beaten into. Beaten into a thing, so it's sort of like that, where it's a round wok.
Around at the bottom.
Yeah, round at the bottom, but flared out.
Oh, actually,
or hexagonal at the bottom.
Yeah.
Flared out.
Let's try that.
And rounded, hexagonal at the bottom, and rounded.
Yeah, what I'll try is make the angle sort of more extreme, but then start rounding it off because it's probably been hit and beaten so much that it might have started at sort of more hexagonal, and then come apart. Right, okay, let's try that. That might help get more of sort of the shape. Yeah, okay. Let's do it like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Well, I've done the opposite. I think I've done hexagonal at the side.
Yeah.
And then round the bottom. Because also when you're using the wok, surely you don't want to rock with creases.
Yeah. I will say, for purposes of the model, it might need to be really round.
For
smaller than a shield, maybe, but rounder, as in. So it looks like a wok and not a flat shield, if that makes sense.
I think I'm counting on the handles.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, if the handles don't cut it.
Yeah.
See, I was going to keep thinking like I think you'd sort of drawn it a little bit like that, but actually, yeah, I was thinking if they were basically going to try and do the hexagonal sort of bit was going to be coming off with the shield like that, like it was the line that runs through the center to the handle.
Yeah, that's with a full. That's what I was thinking with a full hex. That'll work with a like a flat hex. But remember that those handles go
up.
Those handles follow the same.
Well, I was thinking they could change here, but still from one angle be the same. Because
They do follow that plane from the very bottom of the wok all the way to the top of the handle, if that makes sense. So,
and then they should.
So a wok looks like that, Andrew. The handles go up pretty much with the...
Right, the handles need to go up.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah, a bit steeper.
Alright, I'll see that.
Or at least one of them does. If you're doing... Are you doing a symmetrical wok or...
No, I'll do the... Yeah. So...
symmetrical handles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just have to now trim that to...
There's no Chinese wok.
No, it's somehow a dwarf wok. All right, what does that look like? The other
Yeah. That's why I've got the thing mounted diagonally on his back.
Yeah.
So that the handles can hug over his shoulder and then around his hip. That'll sort of be a natural thing to add like a belt strap over it.
Yeah.
And it will sort of hug around the front of him a bit more.
Yeah, he'll have more of an asymmetrical silhouette.
Yeah, and I think with what his hands will be doing, I've got a hip sort of that there'll be a right here. You sort of see that'll be a sort of your rusty axe or whatever it was. Hands on the rusty axe, taking it out of his hip holster, and on one hand, and the other one he's grabbing his ladle.
Yeah.
I think a chest with a bunch of his little chef knives and like almost like an ammo band or something around his chest, but it's all of his throwing knives that are different types of knives,
different durations.
Yeah, paring knives, a serrated,
a
chef knife, a butcher knife, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
And then underneath his wok, do a Uncle Roger. You never seen Uncle Roger?
Yeah, right. Sure.
Right.
So I was doing the pose and a costume because otherwise I'm going to get ahead.
Yeah. So do you like that idea of this sort of wok on this Captain America pose with one hand on his axe, one hand on his ladle, and then he's sort of like looking back over his shoulder?
Yeah, do that. A basic standing up sort of pose like that's not hard to tweak if we do want to change it. Yeah. I kind of do think well, I'll delete it for now because we've made it back. So like that. Oh, I've still got this whole costume to change. Might add some more detail to the helmet.
You know what might help with the wok? I think a little bit of that same Captain America pose, but then imagine if it just started running. So that he'd be bending down a little bit, getting that forward momentum started.
Yeah, try sketching it out. Yeah. Right, well, I'll finish this helmet, and then you can base the drawing off that, and then we'll work through the pose and the costume. What if the horns were not there at all? No, he looks like a miner or something like that. I always think it looks weird when they've got a helmet like this with cheek guards and no sort of like chainmail or something sticking out the back. So I think I might add some sort of like mail just in that little that little square. I don't think it's not going to be a massive change. Right, but the horns need to be there. quick save. It could be another one. Could be sharpening his chef knives, or sharpening his throwing knife, or something like that. Like it could just be like wiping them down. Actually, that's not a bad one. Like cleaning his knives.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, try. All right, try.
Cleaning his knives, then looking over his shoulder, or
Yeah, just looking forward.
I guess it'd be hard to translate that into miniature dwarf.
What?
Doesn't really have much range of motion.
What do you mean?
Looking over your shoulder.
Oh yeah, he can just be standing at rest, like all the other sort of dwarf NPCs. I've got. He'll just be looking somewhere in the distance, like listening to conversation.
Well, looking down stoically, and he's cleaning his knife. That's probably better than looking up somewhere.
Do that, but then have like a troll head or something on the ground, or an arm.
Yeah, what on the base? Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have a little base attachment for some like carved up.
Do you want him standing on a troll head?
I think he
1 foot up on his troll head.
Don't know that will fit. Let me hunt down our trolls, and then we'll nick a head, at least for the size. Did I finish the trolls on my computer? How long ago did we do the trolls? There's a troll.
I would have had one, yeah.
No, I got one. Because they're pretty big heads. Here's the eyes. Where are the eyes? There are the eyes. Sure. Yeah, that could be it. An option. Having
How big is it?
that big.
Maybe not a troll, maybe a goblin or something like that.
We can always. This guy was the sort of
chungiest one.
Yeah. So we'll probably be cut through there. 100 years. How far could we reasonably scale that down? And it would sort of probably be on its side.
Yeah.
Even then, that's
massive.
huge. And upscale that down. Let me unscale it. Yeah, spin that on its side. Maybe just the arm of the troll. Like a hand, like he's been like filleting the forearm. He's carrying all the meat in little sacks, right? Isn't he? Like
Yeah.
Like waterproof bags and stuff.
Could just be a log or something if you wanted standing on anything.
I think if he was standing on anything, it could be like the discarded cuts he's not taking with him.
What about a troll skull? It's not got all the meat. He's just finished cleaning the meat off a skull.
There's not much meat on a skull.
On a head.
But there's not terribly much sort of on a skull from the neck. It could be like a leg or like a femur bone. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. We'll there's not much. Also, there's not much room on a base once you put a dwarf on it. Because the dwarves are quite chunky. I'm gonna do some sort of nail on the back of his neck, but I won't use the normal chain mail that I do because I want to do everything from scratch. scaling down the. I forgot to scale down the Photoshop. I can't see anything on your Photoshop. Ah, Discord's lagging. There it is. Yeah, you could just have like some sort of like bloody cloth.
Yeah, he's wiping his knife through a cloth here.
Yeah.
This one. Be a pretty big knife, but
yeah. I guess in this case he's also going to have some sort of rolled up forearms most likely. Which if he's going to have that, then we'll put like the gloves in his pocket. Oh, not gloves in his pocket.
gloves on his pouch.
Yeah, just tuck the gloves under his belt or something. Yeah. Got to change it. I'll finish sculpting the chainmail later. Ditch everything but the belt. Well, while you work on the pose, I'll get cracking on the pose.
Have you got the
Hmm?
Have you got the wok coming over his
Yeah, it's spun the same way. Yeah.
No, yeah. I'm just saying you've got it coming over his top right shoulder, or top left. Sorry.
Top left. Yeah.
Left shoulder. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's think about that actually. Probably going to be sort of swinging it on because he's going to have it probably in his left arm. I guess it doesn't really matter. Even if it was the other way around,
yeah.
He's just left-handed or right-handed. It's not a big difference. So what's the vibe again? He just uses every part of like what they kill or something.
Yeah. So
is there any way
the idea is that his party are in a dungeon. They're trapped in a dungeon and they learn to cook, like prepare food made from stuff that no one wants to eat, but it's the only thing that they have. So
yeah,
they have to sort of make do, and it ends up being like they look forward to seeing what the hell they can make out of what they kill.
Yeah, right. I was thinking, is there any sort of ideas from that can be brought into the costume, but like without just the classic sort of just like, oh, they use a bone as a shaft. Actually, you could have some sort of bone knives.
Well, I was thinking if that wok wasn't symmetrical,
yeah,
the handle
could have been
great wok could have been like a bone or a dwarven carved thing.
Yeah, I think
carved bit of wood.
It could be like something like that. Yeah.
Now the thing with him cleaning stuff in front of his chest is that we can't really do that.
Can't really do what? Sorry.
Can't really do him cleaning a knife in front of his chest and have things on his chest because it'll be in front of his beard. And...
Oh yeah, you're not going to see anything on his chest.
Yeah.
You'll barely see the strap that's there. Put that back. So. I'll start the costume and I'll just do the classic sort of sort of dwarf I always do while I wait for the pose. I think I want most of it hanging off his hip anyway. I think it looks
this will look great. So with one knee up and stuff hanging off of his hips, that'll be quite a cool.
Dwarves are tricky to do a sort of a tactical rock sort of pose because their legs are so short.
Yeah,
but we'll try it. Brendan specifically said he wanted the walk on the back. Otherwise, it would be so much easier if he was just standing with one leg up, sort of on the walk. Like that. Actually, let's do that. Right, so that it could be like it doesn't actually have to be a troll. That's just because of the sort of the background of the war game figures. It could be like like an owlbear or something, or a bugbear. That's a large sort of, not a large creature. It's bigger than a human, but it's not like a troll size.
Plus, that you can have baby ones that are the size of a dog. So
yeah,
and he's gonna have a sort of split. Yeah. Tunic thing.
Not another apron.
God forbid we do not.
Like that. Yeah. Alright, so armor. He's probably going to spec into sort of.
You said light stuff.
No, leather with metal bands. So it's just a split armor.
But that thing that you showed me. Yeah, makes it studded leather.
Yeah, I think. So yeah, he wrote leather armor with a bit of metal banding makes it studded leather. But metal armor. Banding isn't studded leather.
No, but a light armor.
Yeah, I don't reckon it's going to stay light though. He wanted that heavy armor that you took.
He did,
didn't he? I think he absolutely did. Yeah, well, I'm not going to make it like full plate, but yeah, it's alright. Oh, we'll work it out. So is he going to have is he going to have anything on his sleeves, for like forearms?
Forearms? Are we doing the character that he's basing it off has braces?
Yeah, but if you've just been cutting up an animal, you don't want like the blood going under. So
my preference would be a chef doesn't have anything, doesn't wear jewelry at all.
Well, that's the baker. The baker's the light training unit.
No, that's a neat culinary experience. You're not supposed to be wearing jewelry when you make food, because if it gets lost in whatever you're making.
Yeah.
You're not good.
Okay, yeah. So I think so we're taking those off. Yeah, take the braces off, roll up the sleeves yet again, like the other chef.
Are we doing roll sleeves or just the padded sort of tunic thing going up to?
I'd have him had been in long sleeves with braces on the outside. So the braces are going to have come off.
Do a big padded vest to make that round sort of thing. Maybe some fur on the shoulder.
Yeah. I was going to try like some
Because I feel like he'd be wearing some of the things he killed. if that's his goal is to use everything, then having some like sort of animal furs or whatever would make sense to me.
Yeah.
In the show he is wearing fur.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like that, like he's got like a padded vest and out of his neck. And shoulders, there's some like fur coming just poking out. Right, so it's like a hide turned inside out, and then leather cladded to the inside of the fur.
Oh, well, sketch that out.
This is kind of what I want my character to look like though. So I don't want to.
Yeah, all right, don't do that then. Sketch out something. I'll try something else. I've got an idea. I want to try. We're just for time. We're about an hour in. So yeah, got to start locking in on pose.
So yeah, are you keen for this pose? Cleaning a knife over his knee.
Yeah, I think I'll make him quite. I'd make him quite so hunched. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you want that big beard.
Yeah, I'd have him leaning back more. Yeah, okay. This is sort of what I was thinking. Like you have the leather, say you have the leather tunic, right? But then you've got like these metal bands, like on splint armor, like this, going around it. So have the leather shirt, but then you have these sort of like bands that are like the Viking splint armor, and because that's what he had sort of written. But it's also like that's the pseudo historical thing. He's gonna have a lot of stuff around his belt. If he's got any sort of armor that finishes just below the belt, that's going to get sort of.
It's gonna get real crowded. I think you might need to make the beard a little smaller, like just so that we can.
Yeah.
Because he's pretty much just got a mustache in the show.
No, hasn't he got the full black beard?
He might do, but all that you see from like his base character. Oh no, he does. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, no, I'm sure.
You could probably mute the sound. Yeah, he's got the giant beard. No, it'll be right. We'll work it out. I'll start working on the bags that he's going to have hanging around him, and then I'll start working on the axes because that I can do while I wait for the pose. Haven't really got any notes for how old this fella is.
So what is that armor that you're?
Type in Viking splint armor. It's basically some sort of harness or something that holds
has plates, little thin
little metal plates. Yeah, like that middle image.
Right. So yeah, maybe on the forearms. Yeah, they don't seem to like to go
on the what?
Upper arm.
Yeah, 100%.
They do.
Yeah. The only find of them in history is up on the upper arm.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Well, on the upper arm and chest.
Yeah, right.
No, that's later.
Yeah, I get that it's later, but it's same sort of
No,
concept.
scroll up.
Yeah, I get the concept.
Yeah, no, but I'm trying to show you the real one because there's one, the one they found. Scroll, just up or real. I mean, yeah. No. Oh, actually, go back out of that. I think I saw it. Oh no, go down. Just type in find. So I don't know how to spell archaeology. Or type in type in. Find. I don't know why we're not finding the image that I know. Type in Vendalira splint because I know that comes up. Vendel,
Yeah.
E-E-L. Just era.
Oh, era.
Era splint. There you go. Look at that one.
Oh, yeah.
Up around. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. At least on the arms and shit, over the sort of leather. Do you reckon you should stand up a fraction more?
Huh? I did.
You
stand
have
up a little fraction more.
Actually, I'll start. That's enough of the pose. I'll start working on the pose as well. We're probably going to put a head a little bit bigger than the dwarf head on the ground. Your guy's lent in.
He's lent in, yeah. Bent over, looking at his sort of knife. You go both arms.
Yeah. I think we might sketching it in the moment. I think we might change the design, the armor fraction, like make it a bit more not just more dwarven, but more miniature ish, like a little bit less detailed.
Yeah, that's fine for you, miniature, but
Yeah, but it might we might play with the shape. See how it curls up at the end.
yeah.
I think we might ditch that. Yeah. Do that bit last. Yeah, there's only so high you can get a dwarf leg.
Yeah, that's why I just, even if it's a rock or something, I just like the pose.
Yeah. I'll have like a smushed cheek of the bugbear.
How does that translate into? Are you gonna mold a 1 millimeter thing and make it look
It would just be like the, I don't know, I'll work it out.
Well, that's good about so the pose. You might be having some trouble with it.
Oh, I'll work
So
it out.
that's yeah, he's more sort of leaning on something that's a little bit more in front of him rather than to the side of him.
Yeah, but then he'll fall back. Let's
I
go.
mean,
If it's in front of, this is in front of him.
yeah, it is. But I was talking like a bit more in front of him than to the side of him than
Like there.
than what you've got. Yeah.
Yeah, but then, actually, here I can briefly lift it up, but I don't think you can get the leg like forward. I don't think that works either.
Can he be resting his foot on the back of his head, like more toward the neck, the knee?
Yeah, I'll get to that.
So you see how his knee drops right down, like even if it was slightly forward, like
yeah, he would fall backwards because his leg would be out to the side.
how would he fall backwards?
Well,
Like this, like if I'm doing that.
yeah, all right. So the leg is
like it's just forward.
yeah, okay, sure. I'll try. I'll get.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, no, I understand. But we're running over him on the base.
Yeah, fair.
We put that there, and his leg goes forwards. The head is going to be right up the front. But we'll try.
Only slightly, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just yeah. Okay.
What have you done with the helmet? Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sure.
Just send screenshots of it.
I've done that so far.
Nice. I like his move.
But I'm gonna do more detail on the helmet.
Big eyebrows.
Yeah.
Are they eyebrows?
No, that's
like
part of that. Part of the helmet.
It looks like eyebrows.
Yeah. It's a stylized thing, but I'll come back to that. Which one?
So did you screenshot that?
No, I haven't. I'll send it on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't open Discord.
That's where that forward lean comes in a little bit more of a forward lean.
Yeah.
So, and then
I sort of didn't want too much of a forward lean because then you lose more of the torso. I can have a little bit.
you gain more on the back with all of his hanging stuff.
Yeah. No, I'll go with it. So. Well, regardless, I can do the hands. So, put a blade of some description. Will you not be wiping down?
Hey, wiping up.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah. But wouldn't you wipe it down so it drips down?
Yeah. Right. Pull it away from him.
Okay. Oh, forwards.
Yeah, like yeah.
Ah, okay.
Like he's pulling it toward the tip of the knife.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. leave this one open anymore.
So just for the clarity of the drawing with the that stylized thing, they are like just brow like curl things. They're meant to be anything particular.
Just
They're not wings or anything like that. They're not.
No. Just probably sketch out the helmet for now. We'll do it.
Okay.
The helmet and the armor. I'll probably need to finish those before. Okay. Just get yeah. Yeah, 'cause I imagine there's going to be a lot more detail added. Yeah. I think the shapes. Oh, with the shape, the way it should look is that the angle that comes down here, like this angle,
Yeah.
it gets kicked back out like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's almost a little bit of a kink.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and it comes to a point, like a
Sort of,
point,
yeah.
soft point.
Yeah. I think his elbows might get more flared.
Yeah, they probably have to on your mini.
Yeah. I think it would look better on the drawing as well if his elbows popped out more. Like just for the shape of it. Oh, look at the hands across the chest, so you're not going to see any of that. Yeah, the torso armor anyway. Yeah. Or let alone much of the beard.
All the back.
Oh, that's an easy one to do. There's nothing to do. Dwarves always look like they have gorilla arms.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have the elbow resting on the knee.
That's what it was originally with the bent. Like it was more bent.
Yeah.
You said you didn't want that, so.
Which you didn't want what the.
You didn't want it bent over that much.
Oh, I'm getting the knee up higher to meet. My foot's a lot higher than yours.
Yeah, I was just more bent over before.
Yeah.
It wasn't initially resting his.
Yeah. Yeah, if we lift that up more, then I can get the heading closer. Well, yeah, I didn't want it too bent over before because it would. You wouldn't see any of the stuff on the front of it, but we're already not seeing anything on the front of him. So, because he's got the
beard in there. those.
the beard and yeah, and the hands. So there you go. So I've sort of dropped the right shoulder and lifted the right knee so that they meet, and then I've lifted up the left one, the left shoulder. I've got to redo the anatomy, but have a look at this. See, so you see how these ones are pinched together,
Yeah.
and that one's sort of like being a bit more hunched up. I'll move the head in, so and then I'll move the wok in, and then we can fill it out from there. Maybe even like this, the head. Give it a bit of a tilt, like he's
Looking up.
no, still looking down. Just he's leaning like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, but looking at what he's doing.
Yeah, yeah.
But the face, that way the face is still visible from the side more. Oh, yeah, if he does do that sort of lean where he leans further and further over, then when the big wok goes on, because he's tilted the head to the side, right? And you've got the wok coming out on the left.
Yeah.
It'll be sort of more visible.
Balanced, yeah.
Yeah. That's probably too big. Oh, it's also good that he's lifted the leg up, see? The handle. The handle can sit under the leg.
Handle can sit under the leg.
Like here. See? See how it curls under his bum?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The strap have to become...
The strap will move, yeah. It'll have to go over. Yeah, the strap will probably hook from this side anyway. It'll move up to that corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... I'm just placing it in just so I know how much of the costume to worry about. So we are doing the bare forearms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means more forearm sculpting. It feels oddly familiar after last week.
There's more than forearms.
You've seen they call them fat grips on the dumbbells. It's basically that sleeve you put over the dumbbell handle to make them harder to grip.
Right.
Yeah, and you train your forearms like you do the bicep curls, but you can't hold on because the grip's so wide. All dwarves train with fat grips. halfway through.
Almost. You know what's actually cool? What we've done with the ripping this helmet from the anime and
Yeah.
from like sort of Norse inspired stuff.
Yeah.
Come full circle, gone all the way back to Japanese samurai.
I was thinking that when I put the horns on, and then I put the eyebrows on,
Yeah,
and it really
it
reminded
looks
me.
like some Oni Japanese samurai stuff.
Mm.
It's kind of cool.
I did ask Brendan, did he want the dwarf to be sort of like Eastern coded, like Asian, anything Asian motifs or whatever? Because I wanted one day I've got the Eastern dwarves, as in the like Babylonian ones.
Yeah.
But I want to do like steppy dwarves, like riding really, because you know how the Mongolian horses like that are real tiny.
Yeah.
Like imagine like
right, yeah.
like plains dwarves living off the land, like riding like real sorry.
Not in caves.
Or in like real shallow caves, if anything. Yeah. But like migrating from like cave system to cave system or something, and but like, you know, like living off the land on like really stout ponies or something like that. So if he had said to go that way, I would have started. This would have been one of them. But I think the only thing Asian about this character was the wok. None of the design.
Yeah, it's just a byproduct of mixing two things together. It's kind of gone Japanese.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Frame handcuffs was onto something.
Leave the head for the moment.
Yeah.
Because I fully expect to change the helmet. Like to add more detail over the.
Oh yeah, I'm just roughing in the helmet now.
Yeah. I bring the bottom bit, the cheek bits. I tuck those in a bit. They're out a bit far. Especially because from the side they curl in like this.
From the side they curl in.
And then it's not a sharp corner at the bottom, at the back bottom.
Oh right, I see. Yep.
Well, where's the other beard? So this is now arms. We'll put this beard in. I still have to do all the hair.
Is he gonna have like hair sort of flaring out the back?
Yeah.
He does in the anime.
Yeah, Brandon wants some of that sort of thing. What's he got coming out the back? Like hair?
Yeah, like so it looks like he's wearing a big vest.
Oh yeah.
But it's just his hair and beard. So this is like the shape of his, like this. Just here.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the drawing.
Yeah, I see.
That is the shape of his beard and hair. It kind of makes it look like he's wearing a fur vest.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll do it. With his hair still here.
Yeah, just no shoulder bits. Like what are we doing for the shoulders?
Probably have a couple. The shoulders. That's what I was going to say. Wait on the shoulders. Can you do the footwear for the moment, because I want to do the that armor, and then I want to see. I want to. Oh yeah, dwarven armor is real tricky because it's hard to like. They're so short that, and they're so chunky in miniature.
Yeah, everything just looks like a sleeve of some description.
Well, that, but they're also they wouldn't be able to move like 9 times.
Yeah.
The way it's done. So I wanted to just play with this sort of first, and then apply it to the drawing in this case. Yeah, like, I don't think there's really room to do the curl at the end.
Are we doing pants? Pants and
Yeah, pants, boots. I think the boots can have fur because you know he's got that fur trimmed skirt and braces. I think with this, instead of putting the fur on those, actually, instead of doing, we could have fur at the bottom of the upper sleeves. So coming out of this leather,
yeah,
this leather sleeve with the armor could be fur.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That gives a cool, rugged look to this guy.
Yeah. So yeah, this armor here, Eli, I'm gonna move. I've got to move one of these spheres down because we've got to cut it like this for under the arm.
Right.
So that's why I was like, let me get through what this looks like on this guy.
Since we've sort of knuckled down the pose and the sort of idea for this guy pretty quick, I think I should be able to look at what you're doing and just draw it in real quick.
Yeah.
From here.
I would have liked to have done more on the helmet, but I sort of the rest of it's yeah.
So is it? So is it steps?
So there is it.
So I see how one of those. Okay, so does it go square, sort of stepped up, and then square again for the arm brace?
So I'm not sure what you're saying. Sorry.
So those plates of armor there.
Yep.
You've got the top edge on them. The bottom edge will be square with the.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Right, like that.
Yeah.
And the top edge of like the outer one or the middle one, is that square as well, or is that going like this and then?
Yeah, basically as it tucks into the
it'll get smaller and more angled.
Yeah, one of them can go angled like that. So that I think we'll just need to put this on the figure, but it's basically yeah, so that
one of them's angled. Only one of them is angled on.
I've only
either side of the arm or something like that.
Yeah, okay. This is the sort of thing where it's like the miniature and probably the drawing are only gonna look right in the pose it's in.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it was in a different pose, they would be sort of trimmed a little bit differently.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's fine.
Yeah.
What, and two rivets per thing?
Yeah, top and bottom. Yeah. I'm just gonna try this on a figure.
Is it a band or is it a whole leather brace, like a band connecting them all, or the whole leather?
I've currently got a whole leather sleeve.
Yeah, cool. That's cool.
So there's like because that way when you're painting it, it's just you paint it brown, and then you highlight the metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think that's the best way of doing it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but that being said, the sleeve could actually only be the top half. You know, like it's got a leather underneath the bands, but there's no bands, you know, under the arm maybe.
Yeah.
So
I think that makes sense as well.
Yeah. That way it's easier to put on. Okay, I've just put that one on. I'm gonna. Yeah, so we don't even need to worry about how it goes under the arm, because the hair will cover that.
Yeah.
And then we've got the fur coming out of this. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna make the forearms really pronounced, muscular.
Mm.
Yeah.
Really gripping that knife. Oh,
Right now, my one looks incredibly top heavy.
yeah, it will. 100% it will.
Yeah.
It looks like Mike Wazowski. Literally with the horns, the round body, little peg legs.
Yeah.
But once we add his skirt,
Yeah, I'm gonna put
some of his pack.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the belt and the not the boots or anything else. I'm gonna put the belt and skirt bit on so that he doesn't look so lopsided. Well, yeah, just a better gauge of the proportions. Yeah. He doesn't train legs at the moment.
Yeah, it's all forearm strength, bro.
Yeah, he's using all these exercises. Are using the fat grips.
He's in a squat rack in any dungeon. He's just farmers carrying bags all day.
Yeah.
He fills up his wok full of stuff.
Yeah. That's for it. Yeah. I'll have to do the other leg. I have to walk. Put the arms back.
I like this sort of this shape of everything flaring out like that
Under the
his sleeves, and then also it'll be doing the same thing with his.
We could make. Well, we could make. Yeah.
Just the shape. Like,
Yeah,
the shape of everything sort of flaring out.
It's all gonna hang off him like that as well.
Yeah.
Come up with some footwear. It'll probably just be a classic boot or something.
What do you think about my?
I didn't.
Ninja Turtle.
Oh wait, what?
My Ninja Turtle toe wraps.
I didn't like how that looks on the. Well, I couldn't work out how to sculpt it last time. To not look.
Jesus Christ.
We just spent a table for
Ignore that. It's a common occurrence already.
Alright. If anyone, but if any character was going to do that, it would be this guy's character. So
I'm definitely having them online.
yeah, that's fine.
But
it does make sense that this guy would, but I don't know.
how is that?
Well, no, I think he's like super like utilitarian, right? Like he's using.
Well, he just wrapped his feet with fur because
he found the fur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do the same thing, just not the toe.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
Toe doesn't need to be a part of this, guys.
No. I think with dwarves, it's easier to start honestly with the feet and work up because they're so wide that yeah, you want the feet in. Have you adjusted the pose at all to sort of have more of a lean?
Yeah. Like,
I think he could be a little like the head, like just take the head and just at the neck, just
yeah.
I've done it at the hips as well. Like, can't tell like that. Like as in take the left elbow, take the whole shoulders and tip them
At
over.
the moment, if I do that, it's kind of hard to tell. But oh right. All of this will need to go.
Yeah. All of that's going to go a little over. Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, and at the moment, that his eye line is different than the and the
your right shoulder's up higher.
my right shoulder.
You've got this shoulder here, looks higher on your drawing than your left one.
I think it's just because your knee
Yeah.
and everything are like pinched way more than mine. But I think that's just
Oh yeah.
I think that's just honestly because of the
Yeah.
scale difference. Like
Yeah, maybe.
it's like if I do that.
Well, my leg comes out wider. It looks wider on the. But your angle's different than mine.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a lower angle than you, man.
I do that. There you go. Oh, that looks a bit.
I probably it's that right shin. The knee.
Because you're okay. So this whole thing.
Yeah.
Your elbow's coming up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but the angle of your drawing is more like that anyway.
That is going. That's what you've done.
Yeah. It looks right next to other dwarves. Just gonna open up one of my other dwarves.
Well, all your dwarves have sort of capes and.
No. A lot don't. No, I'm thinking about the one I'm getting at doesn't. No, just one of those. Oh, I guess it's not that. It's just not quite as gritty yet. Like I think once we put the chunky feet on,
it's looking like some Asterix and Obelix stuff.
yeah.
I really like how he's turning out. It just looks so top heavy because he's got skinny hobbit legs at the moment.
Yeah,
Looks like he doesn't wear pants.
yeah. Yeah, it's a treat. I'll nick the feet. Oh, the other thing is with this forearm, sorry, the upper arm armor elo, just take the elements, just twist them. See how this one is running at a 45-degree angle? If you just twist that arm from the elbow, so that top bit, yeah, just twist, yeah, like that. And I do the same to the other one, but way less. And then with the fur on the one on the right, you make the fur, because see, well, less so on yours, because see how my hands are kind of like in a line? I'm going to make the fur, like,
dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that needs to get dropped.
Oh, let's put it back a fraction.
And this here needs to go. Sorry, wrong one.
Yeah, but no, you still need to twist the armor. Like leave the fur where it is. Just twist the armor so that this face is running 45 degrees. Not quite, like it won't be 45 on yours. But yeah. Yeah. I still think that the top corner of that armor needs to tuck the shoulders more.
corner.
Yeah, like this corner here.
Needs to do what? Drop.
Yeah. No, like other way.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like that.
It needs to go out more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then closer to the body. Like see.
Let me just sketch in.
Yeah, hang on, I'll show you mine.
Maybe this,
So it looked to me, it looks like your one is sitting like this. Your one looks like it's sitting like that, where it's up here. I'm saying tilt it this way so that you're getting a closer. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Oh no.
I think it was just like because I erased that. The
You erased
forearm,
it.
the forearm looked like it was coming down here. This needs to go.
No, that's definitely closer. Well, at least then when I last paid attention to it.
Oh, maybe you weren't looking. Yeah, I did move it, but
yeah. Just start wrapping this first.
this stuff needs to go closer. So you've done it more
Like the elbows.
in front of the body.
Yeah. And the elbows are pointed. Even if the wok is considered little, it's still giant. Oh, coming up on the 2 hour mark.
It's probably something to shut the garage or something like that.
For context, we just heard a loud bang. Well, I've just placed, even if we don't use these boots, I've just placed the boots so that he still looks like he's got no calves, but at least it's just going to look a little bit better, or a little bit easier to sort of see what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that also looks stupid because he's got nothing on his calves. That's the strap over the shoulder. And we need to do more. We need to do more hair. Whenever there's a gap on a dwarf figure to fill, hair.
Yes.
Yeah, I rate that.
It's got like a belt
It's still got
across his
straps.
ankle,
Yeah.
belt going across the top of his thing, and that this is like a leather band or fur band or whatever. Going over the top and under his boot.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sort of like how the Hobbit dwarves,
Yeah,
they just like
yeah,
cobbled together pieces of crap that they wear on their feet.
yeah. That's the word. Right, flicking up bits of the hair.
Maybe just flip and rotate the boot.
Oh, with the feet, I reckon you need an angle them out. See how your shins sort of are running parallel? I take that shin, the right shin, and just twist it out.
Yeah.
You have to get this colour one done before 5 because it's my wedding anniversary tonight. And I'll be in trouble if we're late home.
Happy anniversary, me.
Sorry?
I said happy anniversary, me.
Yeah.
Get in trouble like this.
Yeah.
You don't want to get in trouble.
Can't get in trouble if you don't go home.
At that point, the police getting in trouble. You have to start paying for your kids even when you don't see them.
That took a turn.
Let's give us a look at your so
Yeah, all of that's. So yeah, move the right foot wider.
right foot wider.
Yeah, like see, look at my shin. How my shin is sticking out. It's like a mirrored off the other boot. See how your shin.
Oh,
is-
you're talking about this foot, right?
Yeah.
No,
No.
talking about the other foot.
No, hang on. I'm talking about the right foot.
Yeah.
His right foot.
His right foot,
Yeah, his right foot.
the one on top of the head,
One on top of the head. Yeah.
needs to be pointing toward camera a bit.
Or see no, tuck his heel behind the toe. So redraw.
Yeah, it needs to be. His big toe needs to be pointing toward camera.
Yeah, but his big toe is in the right position. It's the heel that needs to go behind. So basically, you're going to look at the foot from the front by keeping the toe and the knee in the same spot and spinning the heel. But you've got basically it's the direction of the shin that's wrong. See like this line is in the middle of the knee, and the foot's on the other side. Whereas yours is running like this.
Right. So you just so.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. But then the foot's going to face more forwards. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Because then like from the shoulders down, it's kind of like a line, like the line of the elbow and the shin are parallel.
Hmm.
And you've got all the wraps going like under the foot, don't you?
Just one wrap at the front
Yeah.
going under the foot. Yeah.
Should just do one foot and mirror it. It's pretty much the same.
Is he just gonna have pants?
Um, yeah, probably just normal pants.
Tucked into his boot.
Yeah, tucking the boot. Yeah.
Sort of studded leather on that
On the
like coat thing that he's got.
mm,
That split coat or what? Is that padded or?
work on the kit first. See how much. Work on what's around his belt, because I think we got to see how much is around his belt before we.
Yeah, he'll definitely have an axe on this hip though, because we need to fit that axe in, and to give it probably good real estate, just put it right there. Just
Yeah. Draw all of that stuff in, because I think we need to see, like, he's got to have all the throwing knives and stuff. We've got to see how much stuff is around his hips and things before we go in and add extra little rivets and stuff. I don't think there's going to be much space. I was thinking of doing the same sort of split armor on the like on the skirt, the same sort of splints running down or across, but none of it's going to get in the way. Without the big wok on the shield, sorry, wok shield on his back, he looks quite grounded. Doesn't look that silly. Uh, maybe not on the wood splitting axe, because OG character comes out of a dungeon, and he's primarily concerned with cutting other things.
yeah, but wasn't that old mate's crest? That,
Oh, he wants it.
Like
Yeah, he does.
like a rusty wood split axe or something.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, yeah. An axe is an axe, I guess. But yeah, it was to have
Just a little hatchet or something.
Yeah. I think you should have a selection of sort of knives, like different knives for cutting different things. Like
Yeah, we did give old mate that like that leather thing on his lap.
Yeah.
With different knives and stuff, but I don't know how much room we've got on his waist.
Copy it.
It'll need to be on his back somewhere, or we can have the hatchet on his back and then around his waist a bunch of knives.
Well, let's put it back. So
yeah, this is where looking at 3D models probably worse.
Yeah. Now let me just borrow some pre-made axes.
I was just thinking, yeah, like that classic Viking, just basic.
Yeah.
Axe. Yeah, like chilling on the side of the head. That's like where I've got it now.
Yeah. Yeah. I put that there.
Yeah.
So the options are turn.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then there's this like area here where you could have like a couple of different knives.
Yeah.
Well, it could also just be the bag. Like if we put the arms on, that could just be where I'd started playing with a big bag to sit on his hip. That he puts all the meat in, like this. All right. Well, maybe there is no room for all the other little ones.
I like that idea of the axe head, the axe handle, pointing like hanging around more toward his back.
Yeah.
He's got the big wok shield. He's got one of the knives in his hand.
Yeah.
We can add that. Do you want to do that same like sort of leather pouch? That mate had.
No, because we got it. A key feature is the big bag that he puts all the meat in.
Oh right, so
and
a big bag under here.
The only space we've got for that is under that arm.
What's on his other hip?
His elbow right now.
His elbow.
Basically, we can put some stuff in here.
Just a dagger. Like, is there room enough for a dagger to be sort of probably not?
Well, the strap's gonna cover up. I think this is all gonna get filled in because the strap will go underneath there. Yeah, I really don't think we're gonna get much more on him than that. Because the axe stuff.
What can be hanging under his
wok?
Under his wok.
I don't know. I don't think he'll much there. If you did, it'd be a bedroll, a bedroll, and shit could sit inside. But we're not going to see much of that.
No,
because we haven't even got his tunic on. I think this is enough.
I think that's pretty cool. So what do we? So what you want a little satchel or something?
Yeah, he's got to have the one that's like the waterproof one that he puts in all the different weird cuts of meat and shit that he finds. I can definitely. Got a quick sec. Can definitely picture using this figure as just a normal dwarf captain or something. Just trimming the horns, maybe.
Yeah.
And because I don't mind the horns on one of them, and I guess it is fancy. But making the shield not a wok. But I don't know how you do that once it's printed. Maybe just ignore it. I think Brendan's a pretty confident painter, so I think he'll probably paint his own one. So, all right, we've got an hour left. reckon you ought to get to the colour in sort of 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. The color will fly by. It's just as, just figuring out where everything goes before the color is the bit more important.
Yeah, but
Oh.
I think it's. Oh, the beard. I was going to do the 3 sort of plaits, or no, not 3 plaits, just 3 rings to hold it. Oh, do you remember? Do you remember Thrall from The Hobbit, the dwarf king who gets his head cut off by Azog?
Say that again.
Thrall, the dwarf king who gets his head cut off by Azog,
Yeah,
has this like
Thorin's,
gold.
Thorin's dad.
Thorin's grandfather. He's got this this gold mesh through his belt. Through his beard. Sorry, a gold mesh through his beard, and it's just like jewelry sort of thing. But we could, because I was saying we need some sort of. Well, we don't need, but he ought to have some sort of like beard. Something like to stop the hair coming out of his beard. I was thinking, oh, instead of this, could have like some sort of like interlocked sort of mesh of rings to sort of like keep the beard from the hair coming out. But I think it would defeat the purpose of having a big bushy dwarf beard.
Yeah, I like honestly the idea of no bands or braids or whatever. Like what he's got in the show is literally just a. It looks like he's got a poncho of fur on. That's just his hair and beard.
Yeah, but I want to change it a bit. I don't want anything to be straight out of the show. But that being said, it's all hidden anyway. You can't tell. It's basically just the way.
Do we think of like a bag over his shoulder like that, or do we want it on his hip? Or is it too much shit? Like a bag strapped under his arm?
Nah, it would under the beard, like through the gap. It'll go over his other shoulder, but it'll go through everything. I think.
Like over the back, yeah. You'll see it over his back or something.
No, sorry. Let me get down. I don't know where it is. I would have the strap here, just under the belt like that.
Alright, yeah. So I'm thinking maybe on his bag he can have some knives and stuff, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think there's room.
No.
There's way less room with the dwarves than humans.
How are we going with the bag idea? Just a
I don't know, just a classic sort of
adventurous bag. I like the idea of doing that like rolled up World War II waterproof bags. Like the ones that sit there and like sort of curly, like roll the top of them up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Because they're supposed to be waterproof.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of those.
Yeah. I think despite doing this one and not changing it halfway through, I feel like I'm more behind on this one. Oh, put a skirt between the legs underneath the split skirt.
Okay.
And that would just be just flat. Nothing on that one. It just, otherwise there's an awkward gap between the legs.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty well blocked in. Well, this is well enough locked in that you finished doing the details like the bag and stuff. I'll do one more pass on that helmet.
Yeah.
And start locking in some of the details. Should the horns be like ribbed?
Yeah, I guess they would be.
But they could just be like metal ones as well.
True. No, it'd be something that if we're gonna go with it's something.
Oh yeah, it's animal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I think I have more dwarf NPCs than anything else. Well, not NPCs, but more dwarf characters. Yeah, right. The horns. Maybe the explanation for the horns can be he's like in the dungeons and stuff where it's like low light, so he puts the horns on so that he looks like he's a scary monster underground.
Yeah.
To fend off against other monsters who see him before they clog the dwarf. That's an explanation. That looks crap.
What's that?
The horns. It'll look fine painted, but as it stands, I don't like that. The way I've done it.
You could do the ridge. So some animal horns, right?
Oh yeah.
Are ridged on one side and smooth on the inside of it. So the part that's that's curled.
That's
They smooth on the underside of that. But they have like a rib.
Yeah, and it goes like that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
It makes them look less like bizarre. Yes.
Well, less sort of tube.
Yeah, like those sticky toys you wave around. They go woo.
They are the toys that look like, correct? Like they come across a wyvern in a dungeon. Bad dragon.
Really?
Oh dear.
Only fire there. Finally some demonetization.
Yeah, shouldn't have said that. It's alright.
Yeah, well, I like this guy. He looks cool as well.
Yeah. Provided they all. Well, actually, Brendan's a player character. He's not going to die. But it'll be sick. We're literally going to do 50 of these in a year. That who knows how long this campaign is going to last and stuff. But you know, it's also the kind of thing where even if people come and go, the setting can still remain.
Yeah. Or an NPC.
Yeah, exactly. Like they can just be folded into the next story and shit. We're gonna have like an absolute trove of NPCs and stuff like that. Like even like hypothetically, Brendan, doesn't play for a bit or doesn't take part in one of the campaigns. Like this character can be used as like an NPC that people come across and that
he's got some backstory.
Yeah. But all of them like the villages that we're setting up, like when we set up our maps, like we're not just going to be using random figures that we've got lying around. Like
so this guy expressly was supposed to have like bulging eyes.
Yeah, do that in the
drawing more so than the model.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna tell Brendan I forgot about that. I'll make the eyes easy to paint, but I'm not gonna make them like terribly bulging. Yeah, so I made the horns real animal horn, and I just put a little ridge over the helmet and hit with the eyes. And some dots, some rivets and stuff there.
So animal horns. So can you zoom in? Sorry, my glasses.
It's just got that pattern, but look at the eyes. How it's the
Yeah, I just need to get. So he's got like a gem.
Yeah, some sort of something there.
Croissant.
Yeah. Does he have big bulging eyes so we can see in the dark?
His tremescence.
No, crap, we got 45 minutes left. I can say that. Will you be right? Okay. Yeah.
It's just drawing a beard, really. So this will be a sort of homage to his anime influence. Just
the eyes.
Cartoon eyes that go over his.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to. I think I'm falling behind, so I'm gonna have to nick an axe from the catalogue. But I'll make it look real old and shit. Oh, okay. I've got to do your stuff there. So that's all for. I'll do the knife blade. Oh, so next week's one, Brett's not going to be playing for a couple of weeks. Can't make it, so there's no rush to do Brett's, which means we get to do the next NPC.
Mine finally. I've got to finish mine.
Yeah, yours is 50% done.
Yeah.
And I was going. You should probably do the sculpting on that one. But we can do it like this. We can, but it's already drawn.
Yeah.
we got to do the thief guy we recruited. I
Yeah.
was trying to think of a good last name. I was thinking like Sandy Body, like because then it's like you know how it's like one of those names where it's 2 words. So like maybe he can't maybe like
Yeah.
they found him in the desert or something,
Yeah.
and they named him like Sandy Body, and his name's Robert. So that way it is robs anybody.
I like that.
Yeah. It doesn't sound. It sounds weird to say, but it would make a lot more sense being read, and we all know the name, so it's fine, and everyone else seeing the character will be reading it. So that one, if we had more, maybe we. I was gonna say maybe with the rubber guy next week, we could almost make that one like a little vignette where there's 2 figures. There's someone standing and he's actually just taking something out of their pocket.
Yeah, but that would get confusing.
That would get like why is there 2 people on that guy's base? Yeah.
I like the idea, but having him in a pickpocket pose.
Yeah. Or maybe a real sly
Sneaky
pose.
pose.
Like he's not looking, but he's just grabbed.
He can be our sneak stealth pick. Send out.
Yeah. And triple arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the opposite of stealth, but yeah,
Well, trip them on our behalf.
yeah, he needs, but like Nat said that he might start making character sheets for him, so that they do level up. Which would be cool if we geared him into stealth.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Oh, it was good yesterday that the combat didn't take 11 years.
oh man, yeah, I felt like it was. We breezed through it, and I was worried when that board came out. I saw like 25 models on it. And I was like, oh god! And then Nat's like, oh yeah, I don't have enough models. There's like another 25. I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're gonna be here forever.
I know your stats better than you.
Yeah.
Perception
I
plus
feel like-
light crossbow D8.
Yeah, I feel like you probably have more of a hang on
100% on speed rolling.
on what they are as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay more attention to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know it's important, but it's not important enough to remember.
I don't know. Remember the rules of the game. That's the DM's job. But yeah, that was a good way. We got through so much combat in that one, just by speed rolling and yeah, that's the way it should be done. Unlike last week.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't think last week was that bad.
I just remember it being that way.
The thing was we just killed what, like 10 people or something like that, more than that.
Yeah.
They were all 7 health. Like
which week?
Like yesterday.
Yeah, they were all low health.
Everyone was a goblin. Like they took 1 damage and they died.
Yeah.
Which was really good because you could hit people twice and kill 2 things in one.
Oh yeah, when I had Brendan's extra attack.
Yeah, and that got us through combat really quickly.
Yeah.
So we were versing stronger people last time.
Yeah.
And also we had less people to get through it. And we were low level. It just felt like it took forever to kill someone.
No, I still reckon it was definitely way quicker just going between people because I think like Brendan and I would like taking a lot of initiative to be like to actually know what the turn order was, so that we didn't have to wait for prompting. Like so that's a shame Brett's going to be away for a bit. Yeah. Could yeah.
What's his chest plate look like so far? Big beard, doesn't even have a chest plate.
Doesn't have
Never heard of one. It's all just going to be beard, yeah?
All beard.
Hang on, let's like hang on, let me have a look so that I can see like where is his hair over his
Everywhere.
shoulders, just over his shoulders.
Over his shoulders, over his
Yeah.
chest,
Okay. Cool. Sweet.
over his back. There's no beard. Sorry, there's no chest plate. It's just hair.
Yeah. A little bit of chainmail.
Yeah, because Nathaniel's got that other friend he wants to bring. I primarily was just worried about space, but if Brett's going to be like only here every now and then, maybe we do grab another one. But alrighty, 30 minutes. Have you put a little trim on that? Okay, sure.
On what?
The
Oh, I have. Yeah.
But that might. I'll leave that till last because that can be painted on.
Yeah.
And not everyone's the biggest fan of modelled on trims. Yeah, let that be painted if I don't get to it in time.
Let's draw his wok. What does his wok handles look like?
Currently, they're just do them as like the octagon.
Yeah, the flared out.
Yeah, flared out.
Wedges.
But do it rather than a square cross section. Do it an octagon cross section. Yeah.
Sorry, can you just give me a glance at his shield, the back?
Yes, I can.
So that I can see sort of how big that shield is over him. So the handle just comes over the shoulder.
Yeah, it wraps quite tightly. Someone I know will Scott will roast me for using a normal human weapon for dwarves. He's like, why don't you give them like cool runes and shit? Because it's a lot more meant to be a lot more grounded than that. It's like, yeah, but
The guy's looking like Elmo.
what have you done on the eyes? You haven't done the eyebrows on the helmet yet.
No, I haven't. Yeah, this was before I did all that.
Sure.
The eyes are what they look like in the anime.
Right. Yeah.
You were real worried for a second.
What are you doing? I was like, whoa, did you misunderstand what that helmet was meant to look like? I think colour.
It's inbound.
I think it's time, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Unless we need to do 3.5 hours. I think.
I don't need to draw any other part of the wok. It's just this top part that
Yeah.
comes over his shoulder. The rest is hidden.
Yeah, we'll just have to work out a way to get through the drawing.
Well,
Quicker.
if we know what he's wearing,
Yeah.
that's sort of how we do that. But
Or just get quicker. Wrecked. Got it.
how am I supposed to draw something that I don't even know?
I don't know.
What it looks like.
I want me to sculpt something, I don't know what it looks like.
I guess so, but
That's the
it's more so like, do we make our things match?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I'm matching yours. That's what.
So how do these helmet things go? Like just the eyebrow things and every helmet, just like Chris wants.
I'll send it on. It's yeah. Well, look at the references I put in Discord for the other dwarves of mine. It's the same sort of thing. It looks more Warhammer Fantasy somehow. I'm gonna merge mine together and do the rest merged. Yeah, just make the head look like a big orc. All right, colours. What colours is he wearing? What colour is the tunic?
I reckon base this off. He'll definitely want a colour like the enemy. So
Let him paint it like that. I don't want that for the image we use.
no. Well, before you say that, we should have a look at what that looks like. So that might be good. I think it's just browns and
yeah. Well, yeah. Where's the image? I've lost it. Yeah, browns, greys. No, I think like the leather and the tunic can be brown, sure, but I think it can be more interesting than that.
leather in the tunic. What gold stuff? What's it? Yeah.
Yeah, brown and gold would be somewhere.
Browns and golds.
Yeah, the gold trim.
So we give them a red, like skirt. The skirt can be red or something like that.
Yeah, orange is another good wolf color.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, orange, like pastel colors, like blue, like the light blue.
Yeah.
That we did on the guy last week. Like that's a good dwarven one. I use
I
that
was
a lot.
thinking for the reds origin. Oh no, it's not. That's
No, this is Brendan's.
Yeah, it's friends.
Look at the images I sent you. They were drawn. The one's like this one. That Eli.
Yep.
Yeah. Do that sort of vibe where it's the pastel sort of orange, the earthy sort of orange. Well, it doesn't have to be orange, but like it can be a light maroon. But just yeah, real earthy colours. Like pigments that you can get out of clay and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where pigments come from, but it's guy looks Paul.
Huh?
He's got Paul's moustache.
Oh yeah.
There's no chance of him hearing me say that.
Here's the guy. Hugh. My orc head looks. It's looking like you.
What the forceps baby head?
Mm.
Yeah. I think that's the medical term.
They claw your baby out like it's bloody. What's the movie Toy Story? Like oh,
Jeez. I'm just doing all the hair anywhere that is hair. Just putting that in, curling it up, and backfilling everything. We've got 20 minutes to do colour, Eli.
Yep. I'm colouring as we speak.
I can sort of see him in actually, like, to do whatever colour you want. I don't have any preferences. I could definitely see him in sort of an orange tunic.
I think I'll go.
He hasn't got much of a tunic, to be honest. It's only like I definitely still do the leather behind the the splint part, but otherwise, yeah, there's not much really of a sort of shirt, is there? You know, I didn't even do it. All I did was the knife blade because
The handles.
the handle's just in video.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't see it.
Does it read
Yeah,
as he's cleaning his blade?
well enough. Yeah. This is only the only photo that this figure will be with the context of the of your drawing anyway. So even if it doesn't, it will paint it if even if it doesn't. Right. It does look like he's got like a bunny sausage snag.
Mm. Again, if you wanted to paint it like that, you could.
Oh, I'm gonna paint mine. What if he doesn't have a brown bit? Or do you want to do brown?
At the moment, I'm doing brown.
Do brown, that's fine.
Because we've got longer, so.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah, that's a solid colour palette. I forgot to do the hair down his back. But it's not a big deal, in his beard, I'm just having little bits of hair stick out, like there's like his
It's unkempt.
yeah, just so that it matches more with the like yeah.
He's a dungeon brawler.
Well, just because he's got like spiky hair everywhere else and
Yeah.
stuff, so it just needs sort of more of it sort of sticking out, more textured, more textured. The fur on the boots now. I don't have a good way yet of doing fur that isn't just one strand at a time.
Might be a good way.
Sorry?
Might just be a good way.
Yeah, but it's so slow. Well, yeah. Normally, I reuse these sort of the fur trim assets. It's just because I wanted to do all of these by hand, well, from scratch rather. This maybe should have been where I made the exception. Ended up not having to worry much about his the pants, did we?
No, not really.
Yeah, they kind of just disappeared. Sabotaged by the autosave. I haven't had a chance to do any sort of detail on the wok, but I might get some.
Yeah, you gotta do the beaded metal. Like the hammered metal.
Oh, I'll do that. Yeah, that's
sick.
I was thinking of putting like some dwarf runes and stuff on it, but
Oh, right.
yeah, more filling.
Maybe if you want to release that as your own, you can like do that again. revisit it.
Yeah, I can like that. That's not a big deal. It's a big change rather. But I don't think it needs it. I think not everything else is quite subtle. I'll do some. Actually, where's the axe on yours?
You can't really see it. It's tucked behind the bag, but it's exactly where you put yours.
Sumo.
So you couldn't, unless I can probably draw the head of the axe, maybe, but you won't be able to read it as the head of an axe. It can't just be.
Well, what if you had the handle sticking out the side like there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't be that much. So, I didn't even add a torso piece to this one. He didn't end up needing one. He's just got so much hair and stuff on him. The chain now.
Like that.
Yeah, just that. I haven't done the head of whatever he's standing on yet, actually. I think we'll just leave it as sort of a nondescript, sort of like orc related bugbear sort of. Yeah, we can do. That'll be fine. Minutes. Oh, I think, yeah, the gold looks good. But there's not really any other gold on the figure, is there?
I can do like either the studs or
No,
probably not.
no, leave that as the only gold. That way, it's just like the helmet has
getting progressively more there's orange tones.
Yeah. No, I think leave that as the only gold. Make the metal plates and a helmet probably more not silver, but like a lighter sort of little lighter, at least on the highlights. But yeah, that's going to be the only sort of shiny bit, and it's like when he went in, he took basically like some rundown armor, and the only heirloom he had was his helmet. I'm just decimating this one. I'll start learning stuff.
ruby or something in the middle.
Just gold's fine.
Just gold.
Yeah, we can change it at the last minute if we want. I just sort of just picture sort of a gold sort of bead or ring or something. Not a. We could make it some sort of yeah. Make it. Oh, it looks good red.
Like
Make it blue.
like,
Yeah, all of my dwarves are sapphire ridges or blue mountains. So lots of blue gems on mine. Just match my other dwarves with a bit better. Do you reckon go back to red? I reckon the red looked better actually.
yeah. And if we do like a topaz, like the orange.
Yeah, try. Like, pick your lightsaber color.
That way it stands out a bit less from the goldness, the shoulders.
I like the red actually, but yeah, it's that could be like the only sort of piece of like good equipment he's taken with him. Oh, I'll batter up this axe actually.
Wait, was he a grayskin? Was he? What was
His
character?
a dwarf.
Yeah, but was it like a dark skinned dwarf or something?
No.
Hey, Kevin, his name.
No, just a classic dwarf. Oh, the other thing I've got left to do is that head. And maybe sharpen some details. Yeah, that's locked in under 3 hours. I'll make the eyes more bulbous so they're easier to paint. Look how far the eyes are protruding out of the head.
Oh god. It's like a puff of some sort of fish that you dig up from deep sea and you bring it up.
I'm going to bring his cheeks really far forward as well so that they can be reached with a paintbrush between the cheek guards. What the heck does the back of the neck look like?
Matt the
No. On the head that he's cut off.
Oh, I've done this where it's like tenderness
Yeah.
stuff like spilling out on the floor.
I might.
A neck bone, a nice like little like the cartoon steaks where you get that little center bone.
No, I've crashed my ZBrush.
Oh,
Wait, it might not have. No, it did.
Look up a raw
Yeah.
an oxtail.
Yeah.
An oxtail. That's a good.
Well, in this brief interlude, while I have crashed my ZBrush, I will display Eli's. That's alright. My only quick save quite recently.
What kind of pants do we go? Do we go like a dark blue painting?
How long ago? Yeah, dark blue. The classic color palette is classic for a reason. Oh. Oh no.
How much did you lose?
Last 10 minutes. Ooh. Before I lose it again, I'll make the same cut that made it crash. So that there. I might actually. Ah, shit, that's actually a good chunk to redo.
What color?
Yep. I should know that by now. I do know that by now. I just still crash it.
Whoever made ZBrush was a damn.
My ZBrush with a mouse. Yeah, the last quick save was 442 and it's 56 past. Yeah, I think he's decently different than it's decently different than
There's also the Japanese have a lot of that that splintered looking armor as well.
yeah.
Which is kind of funny that those two cultures
Yeah.
share some similarities there. Because it's translating to be a pretty like it doesn't seem too like out of place.
Yeah.
This was like a beat up axe, hey, like rusty.
Yeah.
Rusty axe. Yeah. Gross. Ew, axe.
Yeah, it's annoying that I lost a lot of that. But oh wait, yeah. That's it. The most annoying thing with ZBrush crashes is all the brush settings that you tweak go back to normal.
Oh really?
Yeah, like as in if you change the intensity of the brushes.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, they obviously reset back to the normal. Yeah, and you try and pick up where you were with the speed that you were doing it, and then it's like, no, you must be interrupted. Yeah, you're pretty much up to highlights.
Do this little.
I think I honestly have no idea what a bugbear is meant to look like. I don't remember.
I'm going World of Warcraft.
What does that mean?
This guy looks like Shrek.
Okay. Oh, yeah, green. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say do green so the colours don't match, but I assume they're meant to be more brown, a normal bugbear. But I know we're just making this a nondescript orc anyway, so it's fine. Yeah.
It's gonna look like some sort of thing that you'd see on a Zuba Duper packet or something like that.
That's an incredibly specific reference. You might beat me now that I have to do this. You could almost put like a little photo dungeon wall behind it.
Yeah.
Could maybe the green be like a little paler, maybe?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It'll get a pass.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I just want to fully World of Warcraft them up with that purple lid. Maybe been sipping some sort of orange, some purple drink or something like that.
Purple drink. That's so annoying having to repeat all the details. It suddenly crashes. And annoyingly, it was probably about 6 minutes from the next quick save. Yeah, so 14 minutes to catch back up. I reckon he would have just looked sick as just a dwarf hunter, like or something
Yeah,
like. Obviously, we started it because of the shield on the back, the lock on the back and stuff for Brendan, but it would have been probably pretty fine without it. Maybe I might just convert it and just put a normal shield. Yeah, and it's not horns. I'm not a fan of horns. Yeah, that was fair. Well, we're at 5, but yeah, I think we need to do another 15. Well, I need to do another 15.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just sit there, do a shadow black pass sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get it in under 3 hours. At some point. I used to do the old ones in 2.5 hours. But I think I just went straight into. I think I didn't do everything from scratch either. Certainly didn't work where they weren't being drawn either. What have you got on the head? teeth and stuff. What nose?
Just two teeth and a big lip and a big nose.
But
Wide and the straight nose.
it's hanging open a bit.
Yeah.
I'll probably do less on this because it's just going to get mushed into the ground with and then all of the basing stuff will get chucked around it. So it'll be
nondescript head.
Yeah,
27.
pretty much. Yeah, that's fine. I've got to tweak the nose. So the nose is still the big puffy dwarf one.
Say anymore.
Poofy. No, still doesn't sound better. Oh right, and then the you've done a whole bunch of stuff falling out. I don't think I'm gonna go quite that graphic. I'll do a different level of graphic. Yeah. Okay. Doing a light pass now. Yeah. Can you zoom? Are you able to
zoom in?
Yeah, because I'm only mirroring your full screen. So if you work more zoomed in, then I don't have to make it a bit larger. Because it's mirroring the full screen, not just the canvas. Try and fill up more of the screen. Yeah. Right. Oh, the beat of metal on the. the. It's probably not too late considering you're doing the lighting as another layer. Maybe make the fur on the armor and the legs like a beige, or it might actually that might clash with the forearms.
Yeah, that's why I changed it to that because it was originally that.
Okay. Or can it be at least a different brown in the beard, like more grey?
Yeah.
Have you done furry forearms? No. Okay.
Sort of. So it's not furry, but that jagged line is going to be like.
Yeah.
Like mimic sort of on there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it looks like at the moment. But you know how we normally do the dwarf eyebrows? Probably. Well, axe. Yeah. I wouldn't worry about changing it now, but I normally like the metal to be quite a bit lighter. Well, actually, it might be easier just to do in one pass. Maybe we didn't have like that much of a backstory for this fella, but I could see a version of this guy where he's got like plates of armor missing, like because if he's underground, forever, he might lose a couple. Alrighty, well, how's this one going? Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's better. Just so it doesn't read like the hair.
So you'd like more
More silvery.
yeah, metal, not like cast iron sort of thing.
No, right now it's too blue. It's not too blue. It's like
Cast iron.
no. It looks too much like the pants.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I always paint with the metal like a light grey.
Can you have bloody hands?
Yeah. Yeah. The cloth can definitely be bloody. That's designated. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's right. I did it after it crashed, making the eyes more bulbous and the cheek more bulbous to there you go. At least it's a quick save now. much have you got left?
Long at all. Like, I could pull it if you want, but
Yeah, I'll have a look in 2 seconds, but yeah, I think we're getting pretty much ready to call it. There's one problem. Doing the lighting pass in ZBrush, I can't see the eyes.
What?
I do so I put this up in the middle. Do the lighting pass. There's no eyes.
it's mysterious.
Yeah. Even if I tilt.
What do you mean? Is that for a picture? Something of the render?
Yeah.
I think that sort of goes with the you know what? That sort of goes with the picture of that I've drawn here, where his eyes are shaded. Like he's look, like it's legit. Like I've got a band shadow over his eye, same as that.
Yeah. I don't know if I can even because literally if I'm I think the render path just comes from where you're looking at it, because if I'm here, the light's there. If I'm there, the light's that way. I can't even tilt him to get a good photo, because even if I tilt him upside down, the light. Oh, hang on. The light is based on the camera. That's not good. Oh, I'll have to do. Alright, so let's have a look at this one. I was about to say, alright, spin it around. But that won't work.
Hold on, give me a couple more hours.
Yeah, do a speedy version. It's actually annoying that I can't get the render angle. I can actually play with the render settings actually. Render properties. Oh, render path. There's a way somehow to change the angle. Ooh, that works. I don't know what I did, but we'll use that one. That will be the cover photo. You still see the eyes. Oh, hang on. Yeah, cool. Alright, I'll put your one back in the corner. I'll move this one to the side. I'll leave him. Oh, I'll leave it there finished while we wait for your one. Yeah, cool. Got the bloodiest hands cleaning the knife.
Let's do this real quick.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, the mound. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. I'll send Brendan the cheeky photo. I'll put it in our thing. Yeah. Cool. Alright. Yep. I'm done.
Satisfied as you can.
Yeah. Can you zoom when you're ready? Yeah. Good idea. Do the mouth. Yeah. Can you zoom in when you get a chance? I'll have a little look at your one, and then we'll call it. Yeah.
Zoom in. You want me to?
Yeah. Mate. Yeah.
Like seeing the screenshot?
No, just zoom in, because your monitor is on my monitor.
Oh right, yeah. On the full screen.
Yeah. Well, that works, but yeah, but even zoom in again. Like fill your screen with the figure. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So that way I can sort of just see them side by side. I need to I have to work out how to crop them. Crop your screen so it's more of a portrait, and crop mine so it's more of a portrait. But there we go. They look good side by side. That's the same sort of horns.
Now we got to get
We still didn't change the angle of the boot. The same. Your boot's still yours is over there. Mine's over here.
What are you talking about?
Talking about the boot.
My what?
Your boot. His right boot.
Yeah.
The shin
is straight down.
It's that angle. Your shin is like this. My shin is like that, and yours is like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's
I think that's purely a miniature thing. I think.
Nah.
Yes.
They're different. Yeah. I think
it's the difference of like him rolling the head across the floor with his foot like a soccer ball. That's like legit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's just him. He's tucked it under himself a bit more.
Yeah. Is your guy awake? Oh no, his eyes are open.
Yeah, his eyes are open, and they're not realistic eyes. It's purely.
Yeah. Yeah. I went a little less graphic, but yeah. Yeah, cool. It's maybe it's the glare, but the image on your computer looks less saturated. All right, are we done?
Yeah, I can call it.
All right.
I just wanted to get a picture of original.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh dear, we've got.
Can you put that in? Can you put that into Photoshop so that it's visible on this one? Just put the side by side. What he was inspired of versus what he turned out to be. Yeah. I don't think honestly without the walk on the back, which is not even in your image, I don't even think you'd say, oh, that reminds me of him.
The helmet, the beard, and the big mo.
But that's just classic dwarven. All three of those are just normal dwarven features.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only when you spin it around.
The big walk, the big walk shield. That's cool.
Yeah. So the walk shield. I did the chainmail.
We didn't give him a ladle of any description. Can you add a quick handle on the back, like next to the axe, like literally just hanging out, just the handle of it, right next to the axe, at least.
Yeah. Can you quick do the same?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go to last week's. I grabbed the ladle from last week.
Legit, just there, like just behind it, or that. Behind it. Under the shield wall.
Hang on. 2 seconds. So
I'd say that'd be the best spot for it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Hang on. So, we don't need that one. That's the wrong piece. I'm just stealing one of the ladles from last week's because it's time to wrap it. Where is it? Oh no.
Oh.
No, there it is. I was gonna say, did I do a delete all? That would be crazy.
Yeah, there you go.
But I wanted to, on this one, I've been picturing him with one of these ladles.
Yeah, perfect. That's legit the ladle he's got.
Oh, is it?
Curves, it's more like a...
Yeah.
Less like the crucible ladle, more like an actual soup ladle.
Yeah. Down there. So were you thinking sort of just there?
Yeah, legit, like just poking right out under his shield.
Yeah.
That's like no effort.
No, that's nothing. Yeah, I can do that. It's not even going to be visible in your drawing.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's legit, just like adding one line and filling it in with colour.
Do you reckon Lachlan's seen this anime?
Yeah, for sure he has. Like 100%. If you say that to him, he'll probably know what it is. Joe, I'm going to show Joe. So if you screenshot some of the stuff in the Discord, I'll show Joe because he and Maddie watched that anime.
Yeah. Alrighty. Alright, well, we're going to call the stream there. As soon as I've got the figure supported. I'll put him up alongside the other. Yeah, to download. Alrighty, let's
Deuces.
close it out with a screenshot.